Hi everyone, I'm Flora Pastorero.
And I'm Carrie Perry. And this is Chick to Chick.
Okay, here we are. It is the middle of September, and the kids, yeah, I know, it's going so quickly. Yeah. The kids have been off to college, in some cases for about a month now.
Yeah.
And I think some moms specifically, although dads deal with this too, I think this is more of a mom issue that we're dealing with empty nest syndrome. Are you dealing with that right now?
Well, of the 3 girls, I have 2 that are out. So I just have the 7th grader at home. But, you know, this is round 2 of having 2 kids out of the house. It's awfully quiet around here.
It's very, very quiet in my house. This is the 3rd year now that my son has been gone. And when he left 2 years ago, I hate to say this, but it almost felt like a death. It really almost felt like a death. It was so deathly quiet in the house, and I struggled for so much. And now, you know, I'm a few years into it, and then you start to develop your own routine, and you have a different life, and then you're okay with it. But boy, when this initially happens, it's a real shock to the system because
the dynamics change. If you have more than one, or even just you and Sean, you know, it's just a totally different dynamic in the house.
It is different, and especially when you are so devoted and so dedicated to your kids.
Yeah.
And they're almost like your purpose.
Yeah, then you go, what do I do now?
Right.
You kind of have to reevaluate what's important. You can't hover over them.
No.
I mean,
you
really,
want to.
Sometimes you do and they don't know. Sorry. But yeah, it's a tough time. It's a really tough time because you're full bore for all this time. It's like hamster wheel, and then you get off and you're still moving. But nothing's really going on anymore.
Everything has stopped.
Yes.
Everything has stopped, which brings us to our guest today, Nell Abom. And Nell, really, hi Nell, how are you?
I'm well, Flora, Carrie.
You really, really had it hard. You lost not 1, not 2, but 3 chicklets left your nest all at once. Tell us about it.
They really did. They flew away. So it was, I would say the last 6 months have really been emotionally difficult. And I didn't realize until after Christmas, it kind of really hit me by the time February set in. So I have, our oldest son is almost 23. He was graduating from college and moving to the Midwest. Our middle daughter was going to be spending this semester overseas in Chile. And then our youngest, our baby, our Maximu, was fleeing to go for his freshman year at Pitt. So for the first time in 23 years, this nest is empty, except for the big chicken and me.
Wait, you have 1 more kid in the house, and that would be your husband, right?
Yeah. That's right. I often joke that I have 4. But yes, but there is that feeling, and it really hit me. Like I said, sometimes big life changes for me, the serotonin or whatever should be firing up there doesn't quite work right. So I get into a bit of a funk. And I'm just being honest, I think other women experience that as well. And so I felt that hollowness that you have. My purpose, I've always worked, I've always been a professional woman. But being a mom was job number 1.
Yep,
absolutely. And whether that meant changing diapers in the early years and feeding them, or making their lunches for school, or having a hot meal ready every night that had all the basic food components, that core essential function of motherhood, I'll call it those necessity sort of things that children need. We did that for 23 years, and all of a sudden, boom, it was gone.
Yeah, it stops, and I do think it is a shock to your system. And so what happened? Jack left, Mary left, and then you dropped Maximu off at college, and you came home and described to us that emotion when you walked in the door and nobody was there.
First of all, I would say I was fine moving him in that day until it was time to go. And in that moment when I had to actually say goodbye to him, and he's just in Pittsburgh, but it all came flooding through and I started to cry. I had no idea my husband had taken a picture of me. I ended up sharing that picture on Facebook. And it was a universal, people responded to it. Mothers particularly said, oh my gosh, I remember that. Friends of ours next door, Max had always done people's lawns, whether it was snow blowing or lawn mowing. They had left him a note saying, thank you for all the years of doing that. And that was just like, it ripped my heart. And it was quiet. We walked in, and sitting on the chair where he always did his homework was his basketball, because he was always, I'm going to play ball over at Creekview. That ball has not moved now in weeks. So I just moved it this week to the garage. I said, I can't look at that anymore. So I have a great friend, Heather Barnhart. She knew just what to give a mother who was having all 3 children be gone. First, this incredible great mug, empty nester. That there I am.
I love it.
But, what's an empty mug? So she came through big time. Bravo, tequila.
Bravo.
Who knows me, right? But most of all, and really, truly, the most helpful thing was this book, ladies and gentlemen, Melissa Schultz, From Mom to Me Again.
Wow.
After 23 years, who the hell is me?
Who are you?
Figure out, like a lot of mothers who suddenly have no children living at home anymore. And it's a process of rediscovery of your relationship with your husband or your significant other, and a relationship with yourself. What do I want to do with the next big chapter of my life? That's a huge question.
Well, just go back a second. I want that mug in a couple of years, and I want the liquid libation in it. Just saying, just table that for me. I want it. We'll talk about the book, but go back to that picture, because I saw that picture because we are friends, and I saw it on social media, and it was a raw, emotional picture.
Yeah.
And Nell, your face. It just said everything. It's what I felt when I dropped off Sam, when I dropped off Peyton. I'm going to need some other help when I drop off Shay. And so I can appreciate why that resonated with people so much so, because you really showed what it feels like to let go for that period of time that you were holding on. It's just tough.
It was. And, each one of our children, as with yours, is so different. But there was there's just something special about Max in terms of being my buddy, partly being the baby of the family. But he was very into hip hop music. And so every night we ate dinner together, usually Monday through Thursday. And he would sing his rap songs. He knows the words to everything. So I've lost my hip, cool pop culture connection. I'm not going to know who Lizzo is. And
I love it.
But I could hang with the dudes because I knew the words.
That's
now
so
what
funny.
am I going to do?
Now you're going to have to hang with us. We love Lizzo.
That was our pump-up jam just before we called you.
Okay, so you're like about a month into it now. So when Sean left, I was lost. And then this light bulb went off, and I went, hey, I don't have to cook dinner. I don't have to go to the grocery store. I don't have to wash clothes. I don't have to clean up. And it was, oh yeah, now I can start focusing on me. Has that light bulb gone off with you yet? Have you started to rediscover who Nell is? Do you remember who Nell is?
I'll tell you what, for the first couple of nights, I was making full meals. But I have, as you know, my husband is an attorney. He's not home a lot right at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. And so these meals were kind of getting cold. Then I rediscovered granola and milk.
Yes!
Dinner.
Cereals.
And you know what? He's embraced it too. And the funny thing is, ladies, and I don't know if you have experienced it, but my husband, when I would say I was feeling down all winter, what are you feeling down about? This is great. They're doing their lives, which is true. Aren't you sad at all? No, I'm not sad at all. Every night, who sits on the sofa? Should we call the kids?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
That WhatsApp app, I'm telling you, if we got charged for every call, he makes the Mary Grace and Max or Jack on this thing. So I think that men sometimes, and it's a generalization, but they don't want to admit that their heart aches as well. And I think he had a special connection too with each of our children. And for Max played rugby since he was a tiny child all the way through high school, and Jay's the coach of the high school rugby team. They had a special bond with that, and I know it hurts him not to have him here every day to, watch FIFA soccer and do all that stuff. So but yes, I have I have discovered that, first of all, I'm working all the time. Throwing yourself into work is one remedy for things. I've been very busy, which is very good. But the other thing is I've rediscovered getting together with people. Like suddenly, hey, what are you doing for dinner? What are you doing for lunch? I think that's very important for women too. And I think you have to kind of see, what is my passion? What gives me joy? Because this part of our lives can be about giving back, but it should also be about finding that next chapter of happiness, which we subsume that for so many years, right?
Yes.
Because children's needs come first.
Yes.
And now it's a chance to say, but wait a minute, at the end, this is my life as well. What do I want that record to be? What do I want to look back on? I know my brother sent me a text the other day, and he said, I don't know if it's the time of year or what, but I'm feeling sentimental, and I just wanted to tell you I love you.
Aww.
And I think you're a great mother and a wonderful sister. So I think men do feel this too, because their children, they're empty nesters now. Their children have all gone. So making those connections with your family as well. It's just a time to embrace life and all the possibilities that are out there.
That's a beautiful, positive message.
It
I
really
love that.
is. I mean, I was going to kind of say, hey, what advice do you have? And you just rattled off all of the things that I was thinking about. I love that you touched upon, like, men are just a little late to it. And maybe it's just a little late to talking about it, or if they're just a little late to it. But my husband has been the same way. You know, he's all like, oh my gosh, I can't wait. It's going to be great. And then, you know, when it's just Shay in the house, it's just...
I think they're covering.
Not sure.
I do. Yeah. I think they're afraid to show their emotion. You know, when we have issues, we get on the phone and say, hey, girlfriend, what's up? And we talk to one another. But men don't necessarily have that connection with other men. And I think sometimes they're afraid to show their emotions. Right. They're afraid to be vulnerable. But deep down inside, I think they're hurting too. Now, just a great conversation with you. So much great information, great advice. You know what? We're all going through this, and it's okay. And I just think that other moms need to hear that reassurance and validation that they're not the only ones who are going through this. Thanks so much for sharing your story. And you seem to be doing great, and keep it up. And let's go out and enjoy that bottle together. Okay?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Flora.
Thank
really
you.
Appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, take care and fly. Let them fly.
Let them fly.
Yep.
All right.
Thanks, Nell.
Thanks, Nell. All right. So there you have it. We've conquered an empty nest syndrome, because a lot of people are dealing with it. And it is a good time to go, you know what? I focused my life for the last 20 some years on my child. What about me?
Yeah.
What about me? Yeah. It's okay.
I'll
it's
let
okay
you know.
to say that.
I got a couple years.
I still haven't figured it out.
It's good advice. And she's a mom she's a mom's mom. She's been in those trenches with her kids. And I love to see how she is, you know, able to give some really good advice. She has some good
great
girlfriends.
advice.
It was really good stuff.
She's doing well, though.
She is doing well. I'm impressed.
I am too.
I knew Nell wouldn't fall on her face with this, but I like how she's pivoting. How about that?
I love it too. Yeah. And we love the fact that you're tuning in to catch us here. Chick to Chick, you can follow us all over social media, on our website as well, chicktochick.com. Thanks for tuning in, and we will be back next time to chirp about another topic.
That's right.